So welcome to Esprit Academy. We're a small independent school that specializes in gifted and highly intelligent children, many of whom may also have some other learning challenges, some do not. We pride ourselves on having an individualized learning program so that each child, regardless of where they are and what they are able to do, is they're working at their own level and at their own speed. So it doesn't matter if they're much faster in math or a bit slower in reading. We work at their pace to get them to where they belong and where they want to be. Our goal is that by grade 8, that they are able to do a lot of independent work, independent research, reading at grade level or above, depending on where they're at, and work through. We also pride ourselves on a lot of the soft skills of independent learning, community-based thinking, social justice, ability to plan out projects and time management, self-organization, both with a physical space as well as their work. We also want to make sure that our kids get out every day and we spend at least an hour outside walking through the ravine, which is very close to our school, or out at a park. So that's sort of it in a nutshell. We're going to talk more specifics as we ask questions, and also at the end where we sort of go through a walk through day by day what things are like. And Rory, you're going to help me with that as well. So Rory, what did you appreciate most about the school when you were here?
Okay, so I wrote this down. So during the school year, I really appreciated how the teachers put me first in everything. They made me feel like I could ask for their help any time of the day, even though they were working. What I mean by working is that they would always stop, focus on my question and answer it in a not sort of rushed way. For example, they wouldn't go like, they wouldn't stutter or keep going back on their computer, but they would do the opposite. And yeah, I have no idea. I wasn't prepared.
So it sounds like the thing you appreciated is the one-on-one attention when you needed it, and you were left to work when you could work on your own. You were left to do that and not interrupted.
Yes.
Like things, right? Yes. That sounds great. Was there anything about the way the schedule worked that you liked? Did you like, for instance, we do our mornings where all of our academic stuff is, and then in the afternoon, we focused on one specific thing like our STEM challenge afternoons or our music or art. Did you like anything about that setup? Did that help you in any way?
Yeah, it really helped me a lot when they focused on a certain type of topic in the certain times of day.
Right. Okay. So you like this so that you knew what you were doing and how it was going, right? Mm-hmm. The next question is, if the school were to represent it as a single person, what would its personality be like in only 3 words? So if you could pick 3 words to describe the school as if it was a person, we're doing our personification, what would those be?
I think the school would be very easygoing, humorous, because it has made me laugh, and well, not the school, the people, and it would be very energetic.
Excellent. I like those words, Rory. Okay, so what one thing would you change about the school for the better? So is there something you would change to make better?
Not really. The only thing that I would change about this school year is COVID, because I really didn't like the online learning, how we learned online. So basically that's the only thing that I would change.
I'm totally with you on that. I would have changed exactly that same thing. It was terrible, but we made it through, right? We still got our work done, but it wasn't very much fun. It wasn't as much fun as normal. What would families find the most surprising about the school? So if somebody came in that's used to a regular school, what would they find the most surprising, do you think?
I think they would find surprising how we all know each other, right? Because we came from the same school, and since it's a new school, they would expect that all of us would stay quiet in our own corner. But at the start of the school year, we became like classmate friends very fast.
Right. And what about the new people? Did they integrate really easily when we get new people in?
Yeah, and this parents would families would also find that surprising is that we accept new kids as like they were there the whole time.
Right, exactly. You guys are awesome. That's why. What advice would you give to a student who's just coming into the school? So we've got a new student. What would you say to them if they said, hey, what do I need to know? What kind of advice do you think would be good advice for them to come in?
Honestly, if you want to make someone feel like they're welcomed, you shouldn't really be formal, but you should act like, again, that they were always there,
Right.
always in your school life, and you've always been there, I guess.
I
That
mean, they should behave that way.
no, we should behave that way, and make them feel comfortable and not ask all like, "Oh, where are you from?" And because that would just make them feel like they were an outsider.
Right. So part of it is how the school brings them in, that they themselves don't have to do a lot, that they'll be accepted for who they are and join quickly into the school group and community.
Yeah.
Okay, excellent. That sounds awesome. I'm going to move to asking some questions to Annie, your mom, and then you and I are going to talk through what our days look like. Okay, Rory. So we're going to talk to mom, Annie. So your first is, there we go, move over there to mom. Why did you choose the school originally? And which ways did the school was what you expected, and which ways was it not what you expected?
Why did I choose the school originally? I answered a different set of questions. Probably good we're doing this now, but I can still answer.
That will answer all the questions you answered.
Yeah, because of Jen, so because of the other school, because they were already together, and that knew everybody and trusted everybody. That's why I chose the school, and that yeah, and it was a small group.
Perfect. What is the biggest impact the school has had on your child?
Thinking that school is fun.
Yay! Your child, oh, we've already said what your child had to say about the school because we talked directly to them. If the school were to be represented as a single person, what would its personality be like in only 3 words? So you get to answer the same question as Rory did.
Yeah, I had smart, good, and funny.
Excellent, excellent. How would you describe the values of the school and the values of the families in the school community?
Primarily, I put independent learning. So independent learning and close relationships between staff and student.
And staff and student.
Yeah,
And,
yeah, independent learning was the biggest one for me.
and you found that those were things that not only the school said was going to happen, but actually did happen, and Rory was able to grow in those ways.
Yeah, the follow through was kind of confirmed to me. That was my guess, but then it was confirmed after we joined the school. And then also I put that not just about independent learning, but how committed everybody was to getting work done.
Right.
That was something that was a goal in joining, and then that was also followed through on.
Jen, you forgot a question.
What question did I forget?
What, to your best of your knowledge, most differentiates the school from others?
Oh, you're very right. Would you like to answer that question, Rory?
Don't we have to? Isn't it like? Oh.
We have to all the questions because we're supposed to do like a list, because they're going to edit it and they're going to do a great job, and then this is going to show up so that people can compare one school to another.
Mm-hmm.
Would you like to answer what, to the best of your knowledge, most differentiates the school from others?
Okay, so they're recording this right now, right? Okay.
The whole thing, hopefully they're going to edit a really good edit, but yes, that's what they're doing.
Even if we mess up like really bad,
They'll just, and if you mess up, we'll stop, give a little break, then we'll do it again, and then they'll clip that bad part out.
Cut and paste
oh yeah, okay.
together. Like
Okay, so I wrote this down. I've been to some different schools. Tattle Creek, Dragon Academy, and Esprit Academy. But the different the okay, wait.
Differentiation, how it's different.
The difference that really stood out to me was how easygoing we were. How easygoing we were. Not easygoing as in there weren't any rules or we could do whatever we want, but easygoing as in, for example, I could literally just say so casually while we were in the middle of the lesson, like, I want to eat, or I'm tired and I want to go home. And I just find it so funny how most of the teachers were just playing along and be like, oh my God, I'm so tired too, but we have to get this done. And we just think about it like for a few moments and then they'd be like, Rory, you have to do this. And I just find it so like different from other schools, how we just, joke about how tired we were. Or for another example, people would just say the most random things at random times in the middle of the lesson, like, oh my gosh, look at this funny meme or funny vine I found on YouTube, or this dog picture. And then we'd all stop and then look at that meme or dog picture. And I just find it so different from other schools because like they'd be like, okay, stop fooling around. We need to get back on this. We did go back to work, but it was just really easygoing, and it made me feel like
Accepting, like they were
not accepting, but it made me feel not so tense about school. Like if
there was lightheartedness, so you didn't feel stressed about stuff or about work. You knew the work would get done, but you also knew that you could have a moment to laugh about something.
Laugh about anything. And for the third example, I could just lay on the floor, sprawled with my legs all spread apart, and just lie there. And then for a few moments, because I'd be so tired or hungry, and then you wouldn't, or anybody would not mind at all, right?
Right. So we're accepting of if you need time alone, you need a body break, you need to take a minute to say, okay, I'm done for a minute. I need a break from my math. Right.
Right. And nobody would say anything. And then I'd get back up and then do my work, which I find so at ease and so relaxing to just do a thing that makes you feel so calm, right?
Excellent. Awesome. Okay, we're going to go back to Mom. Okay. And we're going to finish Mom's questions. Mom, did you answer the same questions as Rory? Is that the ones that you did the questions for?
I did past parents, but I can answer any of them. I looked over all of them.
Oh, how wonderful.
You.
Let's see, with 3 words. What would you describe the values of the school and the values of the families in the school community?
I did that one. That was the one where independent learning, but then at the same time, close relationships too.
Right. Okay. And is there one thing that you would change about the school for the better if you had to choose something?
High school. That it had high school.
Yeah. Make Jan do more work is what you want to do. Yes. Jan would love to have high school. She's going to start with the younger kids. Let's see, represent a single person. We've answered that. Knowledge. What about best differentiates a school from other schools? So let's see your viewpoint of that same question.
Quite similar, actually. I put relaxed setting, but with goals. So I was the most surprised by the moving chairs, as you know.
Yeah.
From that first time that we met, and I almost fell off one. Yeah, my family was really surprised by the way that the kids were accepted for the moment the moments that they needed to reset. Like if they needed to sit funny, or if they needed to move, or if they needed to eat. I felt like that is not something that we would have been able to find in a lot of places for Rory. And instead of kind of disrupting her days, it was actually very helpful. It helped her to be relaxed enough to do all the tasks that she needed to do. Yes, she needed a lot of reminders, but that's not a school system thing. That's also a Rory thing. So the ability to work with what she needs, I feel, was the biggest differentiation.
Excellent. Which change? Yeah. Is that anything different than what you think other families would find surprising about the school, or is there something different that they would also find surprising about the school?
You might find surprising how much work gets done, because that was my second kind of surprise, was that I thought, because it was so accepting, at the same time it would be kind of hard to get her to do the work. But I found it surprising that I was kind of proven wrong, because she actually did do a lot of work even while being herself, and also not stressed out by kind of churning it out. But really, my whole goal, like the virtue thing, is that she learns to know that learning is good. It's fun. It's part of who she is, and it's like a lifelong thing. It's not just do this and then you're done with it, but it's like a lifelong goal. So the fact that she now doesn't think of it negatively the way that it might have impacted her if she was in a really stringent, kind of scary environment, that works for some people too, just not Rory. That would have set her back a lot.
Right. Excellent. All right. So can I have Rory back? We're going to talk about what it looks like in a day, like when she comes into school and what we're going to do, because our days look a little bit different than a typical day, right?
Oh, Rory,
help me do this. We're going to have a chat about the day. So when we get into school in the morning, we're going to forget COVID years, in the sense of that we had to wash our hands, wear our masks, take our temperature. We're going to forget that. But we would come in, and what's the first thing you would normally do when you came into school before school kind of started?
Put my stuff away first thing.
Put everything away, get set up, get your desk ready. And then we would start the day with 15 minutes of reading, and everybody would do silent reading. And what was the rule at the school at this point about computers and phones, Rory?
No phones, well, no electronics. Actually, no. You can only use electronics at lunchtime.
That's right. So we would only use it if we had to use them for school, we would use them. But generally, I wanted you to do your work without sitting on a phone or a computer, because they can be somewhat distracting, right? And they get us off topic and off what we're supposed to be doing. So now we get to work. What will we start with? We start with a group lesson. So how did the lessons go? Did we all talk as a group? Did I only talk? How did those kind of go? Do you remember?
You start off talking, and then we get so off track, right? So you'd start talking, but then people would be so curious about like that specific part of the topic, so they wouldn't like if you were talking about history about Canada, right, and you just bring this like random thing like, oh, the Jews, blah, blah, blah. But then this person would be like, what Jews, blah, blah, blah. And then you'd be like, so into that specific history, which really taught us about like important things about like history, right?
Right. So part of it is that lesson, although we may go in with a specific goal about learning about a larger topic, we would start learning about what part of that really interested the students, right? Someone would say, hey, how did this impact something? Or how did we do this? And we would sort of change topic on the fly so that everybody got to learn how their interests within that topic happened, right? Because we'd stay on that topic, but we would go, hey, this person's really interested in this. This person really wants to know how this is going. What about this part of the world at that same time, right? We talked about those types of things. So when our lessons were done, we would have one lesson in the morning. Then what would you go and do then? What would happen at that point?
I forget. What do we?
Dependent work, right? So you would choose what work you were working on, and you could choose math first, or your reading, or your writing. You could choose whatever it was that you wanted. However, every once in a while, I would come in and I would take somebody to either a quieter space in the classroom or to another classroom, and we would do more one-to-one lessons. So sometimes you would come with me and we would do math, or sometimes I would take you and someone else together, right? So you and Silas sometimes would come and we would do work together. Sometimes you would do it by yourself. So we would do those types of lessons with myself, and you would sometimes work with our TAs or our EAs, right? So, and we would spend the rest of the morning doing that, where we have independent work for everybody. We also have working with a TA if they need it, or with an EA if they need it, to get, you didn't normally need scribing, but some of our kids need someone to scribe for them. Or if we were learning a new math thing or a new writing, or we were doing a writing workshop type thing, that would be done independently, right? When you were writing your stories, you and I would sit down and we would do the editing together, right? So that's how that. Then at 12:30, we would eat our lunch. Or sorry, at 12, we would eat our lunch.
Yeah.
At 12, eat our lunch until 12:30. And then at 12:30 to 1:30, we would go to recess. So what were the different choices we had for recess, Rory? What different things did we do?
We like the activities.
Yeah, we went to the ravine, or we went to the park, we went for walks, we did all different stuff, right?
Park. Yeah, basically, yeah.
We went to the park, we played on equipment and stuff. It was just like a regular outdoor park. Or the ravine. Everybody really liked the ravine though, didn't they? That was one of their favorite things, to go climbing in the ravine and to go through the forest and stuff like that.
Yeah.
That was one. And we spend a whole hour outside, right? We want to make sure that we get all of our exercise, that we get our sillies out, that we have lots of time to be social with our friends, that kind of thing. Then come back at 1:30, and then each afternoon had a very specific topic. So our topics would be drama, would be one of them. So what did we do in drama this year? Do you remember anything that we did in drama this year?
In drama, God. In drama, we would, what did we do?
So we did improv, we did script writing, we did comedy and timing, we did acting out different characters and developing characters. That was sort of some of the things we did. We didn't get to put on a big play this year though. So that's probably what you're thinking, in the sense that we didn't get to do a big, huge one because of COVID. We didn't get to do that this year. So that was kind of sad. Then on Tuesdays, we've been doing STEM challenge. So that's where we, build different things and try to meet, design. We talk a lot about scientific design and the design process. Do you remember any of the things that we built this year?
We built like a marshmallow tower with sticks. We built with gummy bears, like gummy candy things with toothpicks to see which structure was like stronger.
Yeah, that's right. The different sizes and shapes to see what's stronger. Yeah.
And that's all I remember.
We also did, we built boats that we floated down the river at the ravine, right? Got down faster. And then at the end, everybody designed their own imaginary invention, right? Everybody had a turn to do that. And then Wednesdays we did visual arts, which I know is favorite ones. So what type of things did we learn this year? Do you remember what kind of work we did with visual art this year?
Like different types of art, different types of style to paint, shapes, perspective, and line.
Yeah, that's a lot of what we did. We did a lot of stuff that we don't touch. Like we didn't do any clay or anything this year because of COVID, but we did do a lot of drawing, color. We did some digital art. We did some animation stuff, right? So those are different things you can do in art. And then on Thursdays, we did music. This year coming up, we've bought ukuleles for the school. So we're going to do a little ukulele program. But we also do theory of music so that the students learn how to read music and do some little compositions. And then on Friday, we have gym for the afternoon. And it's like a regular gym program. We go outside, go to a local park because our school itself isn't big enough to have a gym. Is there anything about the day that I have forgotten, Rory?
Not really. No.
No, that's pretty good, eh? Generally, one of the weekdays of the week, the kids get to go out to local restaurants and participate in what they're doing with their friends to go out and buy some lunch.
Yeah.
Does that sound about right? So that sounds good. Is there anything, Rory, extra that we have not talked about the school, about how we're different or how the students would feel good about coming to the school? Was there any last thing to say before we stopped our recording?
No.
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 Well, thank you, Rory and Annie, for your time. And we are going to have a chat soon, I hope.
Okay.
All right.
Okay.
Thanks.
Bye.
Good luck with the article.
Thank you.
Bye.
Bye.